Rhinelander in northern Wisconsin is known as the home of the legendary Hodag, but it's also the headquarters for a booming e-commerce business.
Well, one thing that might be a great big surprise for people in Wisconsin is that a little company in the North Woods would have 1.5 million visitors to their website every month. That's just our main website. Drs. Foster & Smith is the nation's largest catalog and online seller of pet supplies. In terms of products, we've probably got the largest selection of anybody in the country. It's 16,000 different SKUs and sometimes more than that. So it's a fun place to work. There's a lot of change going on. We're the largest employer in Oneida County with about 500 employees, and we're owned by 2 veterinarians, Dr. Race Foster and Dr. Marty Smith. The company started by accident, and it came out of, in part, a tragic situation. There were 3 owners at the time of 5 clinics here in the North Woods, and that was Rory Foster, who was a vet, and Race Foster, one of the present owners, and Dr. Marty Smith, all of them veterinarians. Rory got ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and was not able to practice and began to write a newsletter. That newsletter was really well accepted, and there were a lot of subscribers to it, and so they decided they would begin to add products to that newsletter. And that newsletter took off, and the company began through that tragic circumstance of Rory's illness. Foster & Smith got drugged kicking and screaming into the internet, as many companies did in the early days. They loved the catalog and had done really well, and were one of the top catalogers in the country, literally. But people's attitudes about the internet were changing, and people wanted the convenience of being able to order online. An order comes in electronically, and then that is transferred to our internal system, and there's a barcode on a tote. Those totes run along the conveyor and are pushed off into specific areas by an electronic eye reading that there is a product in a specific zone that needs to go in that tote. And people shop those items, put them in the tote, put the tote back on the conveyor, and away it goes. And eventually, once it's completely full, ends up down at what's called QC pack. So quality control and packing, where it gets scanned again. They make sure the products that are supposed to be in that tote are in that tote, and that they're clean and in good shape, and they pack them up, and out they go out the door, shipped out in a variety of different ways in different locations. We have 4 different websites. We've got our main site, the drsfostersmith.com site, and that's our dog and cat and small pet and so on site. Peteducation.com is our non-commercial site. You can't buy anything there. There are 3,000 to 4,000 articles on the site, either written or screened by our veterinarians, so that people can learn how to care for their pets well with very technical and professionally done information and articles. And then we have our, what we call internally our FSA site, our fosterandsmithaquatics.com site. That's pond and fish hard goods. Then we have liveaquaria.com, which is a separate site, and that's coral and exotic fish that we sell, saltwater primarily, which is a really unique thing for northern Wisconsin. So we literally go around the world to get our fish. They're rare in the industry in some cases, so they can be very expensive, but none of them are endangered or threatened species. We don't get ourselves involved with those sorts of things. But they're very unique and beautiful fish. We make sure that they're healthy. We quarantine them first in a separate filtration system. Then we treat them to make sure they're well before we ship them out. We have one of the largest aquaculture facilities in the whole United States, believe it or not, right here in northern Wisconsin. And what that means is we grow saltwater coral right here in northern Wisconsin. It's a remarkable thing, and one of the fun aspects of being here at the company. It grows very slowly in many cases, like an inch every 6 months. Some of it grows much faster, and there are dozens and dozens and dozens of species that we have, and they're all different. Now, the reason we have the aquaculture facility is that we hope long-term that people will stop taking coral off live coral reefs. So we grow them here, and maybe someday, we're a long ways away, but maybe someday all coral and fish tanks and reef tanks will be aquacultured like we have them here.
Right. Anything else I can help you with today?
Our call center has about 125 people, give or take the seasonality, and they really are the epicenter of our communication with our customers. We get called all the time from companies that want to be our call center. Sometimes those are overseas, sometimes they're within the U.S. borders, but in every case we turn those down. One of the underlying philosophies of the company has always been, let's do it ourselves and let's do it local. Those employees come from Oneida County for the most part, and that's been part of what I think has helped us in our customer service, is that there's a Midwestern common sense, we're going to fix it, and we're here to help mentality, and it works really well for the company. One of the unique things that's so nice today about broadband is that you can run a business from anywhere, and at the same time you can be everywhere because of internet access. It's very cool, and that's why it works to be right here in Rhinelander, and we reach out across the nation.